Welcome in, everyone. Hopefully it'll capture my Minecraft soon enough. Welcome in. We are going to be designing, well, at least starting the design of my mega base for Create-o-Holics Season 2. This is going to be a big project. I've already started working on parts of it that I'm not going to show you because I'm hopefully going to keep them secret-ish. Today, though, I want to build some micro buildings to dot around my big structure that I have not built yet, and I don't really have an idea for. But we're going to be using at least part of the block palette that you see below, maybe all of it. But these buildings are going to house either farms or other factories or like smaller areas of the whole inner workings of the farms. So I suppose let's start with like a little bit of a drawing of what I want to do. So this is going to be our mega base, and then we're going to have little satellite sections around it where we have various farms and stuff, and we connect them up with chain conveyors and stuff so that, like, oh, I want in my storage system in the main part of the base, if I need to make more factory gauges or something, it'll go over here to the crafting section with everything that it needs, and then craft it up, send it back to our main base. That's going to be the goal. I want to make a bunch of these like little satellite buildings so that when I make the big building, I have a theme for buildings that I want to make. Ideally, I think I'm going to want to make this into a almost medieval but not really type of thing. I have already watched a color theory video on how to build Minecraft builds, and it makes sense. The big one is that you need contrast. So having this base color palette is good. I am flying way too fast. Having this base color palette is good, and I think I'm going to use this one because all of these blocks are relatively easy to farm, except for really the gray wool. I don't have JEI, that's why that's not working. But even gray wool is pretty easy to get. You can get string, which I think we're going to have flax again, so that's easy to farm. And then just gray dye, which is black and white dye. Both really easy. To complement this, though, we would want another color palette that's a different color. And for this one, I'm still stuck on what I want to do. So there is a lot of good ones. And let's go into Axiom's color picker because this has been really helpful and I think is going to help us a lot. What we kind of want to care about right now, we have zero color, really. It's all blacks. It's all dark. There's no value and no hue really to them. This is what I learned in the color video. So we would want something else that complements it. And if we want it to stand out, it can, but it doesn't have to. So if we look up something like copper and grab one of these and one of these, we can go back to our color picker and put this in. And we can see that this is pretty low on, I think this is saturation over this way. And black is pretty good at having low saturated values. You can see here, basalt, very low saturation. Deep slate, very low saturation. All of these really low saturation. So we want to keep all of these over here so that it stays in a good kind of area. So copper is still pretty good. This will make a pretty good complement, like shade hue thing, because it matches in line with these blocks in terms of saturation. We could also do it, since these are all like blacks down here, we could also do it in terms of blues and stuff. So I think like a dark blue would in fact work, but it's quite a ways away. So it'll work less. With that in mind though, I honestly think, oh, okay. So actually for us, the green is closer. I'm curious what red gives us. These are a little bit too bright. What if we go like over here? So this is like closer to brown, and I don't think what we want exactly. And yeah, up here is our granite or copper. That's with reds. I honestly think the blue vibe could be a good vibe. So things like stripped warp hyphen could be good. So maybe we try it with this. We can always get a different color palette if we decide we want to. But for now, I think it could work. So let me grab some prismarine. Let me do one of you. I got rid of it. Okay, let's see. So it looks like oxidized copper and prismarine are actually quite different. Huh. Let's go to the gradient painter and see how do we get from this to this. So it looks like actually, and let's do this so that I can keep them separate. It looks like actually it's just prismarine to oxidized copper, and that's the next one in the list. So there's not really a gradient that we can make with just those two blocks. That is fine. We can grab you and some other ones. I didn't mean to grab this. I don't know how I did. Oh, I see. Scrolling. Interesting. So we can grab like one of these or something. This might be too blue, but it could be worth trying out. But if we try oxidized and prismarine this time, you can see that our oxidized chiseled copper is in the middle of these, but not really again. I think it's too much of a blue. So let's move it over to something like what's the Megabase? What? I'm hoping, Cal, I don't know when you joined up. Megabases are overrated. You should build a microbase hidden within other people's bases. That would actually be really fun. That might be an idea for the future. I don't know how I would get away with that. Isn't that what Cubfan did a little bit? He just hid like micro hideouts for other people's places. But honestly, it's kind of a vibe. It's you that I want. Warped. So how do I get from you to you? Warp blocks, cyan glazed terracotta. I kind of disagree with that, but we'll see. If we switch you around, and let's just go down the list. So you can see this is a little bit jank, but at least it's like kind of okay. But it does look like, yeah, maybe this is wrong. But here we can use some of like our combos to figure out where these are. Yeah, so these jump around a ton. I feel like the cyan glaze doesn't work well. These two work pretty well together. This one is like dark in the middle, and then it goes dark over to the more saturated, and then it goes back to less saturated. Yeah, they're all pretty different. Oh, man. So let's switch this up to go you. Like that's a pretty good set of blocks. And I think pairs well with our other gradient that we have over here. How much do you know about making a modded Minecraft server? Absolutely nothing. I have other people do it for me. That's the beauty of it. And I'm not sponsored or partnered with any like services that do it. So I literally don't even have a starting point of like what you should look into. I do think what's it called? Essentials mod lets you do it, lets you host a server not consistently like an actual server would, but if you're playing on it, you can host it through Essentials and it'll do it for you. So if you want to play at the same time as another friend, you can do it with the Essentials mod. But it's not as elite as you would maybe hope. Okay. I have a server host and stuff, but it says the server jar file is invalid. That sounds like something weird is going on. And honestly, I don't know how to fix it. Okay. For our base, I kind of don't know what theme I'm going with yet. So maybe building this is going to decide our theme. But what we need is it to be big enough. Yo, what's up, Pyro? Welcome in. We're trying to work on our mega base here, and I don't really know what kind of theme I'm going with. The plan is to do some big, broad strokes. I don't think this is going to be big enough for one of our kind of sub-buildings. I'm hoping... Extend you, extend you. So this may just be big enough for some of them. But again, like, it's probably... This is probably on the small end of building sizes that we need for our sub-buildings in these little satellite areas. Have you been? I have been good. I don't know how long it's been since you've joined, but I took PTO all last week to get a bunch of videos prepped. So I have videos pretty much until Christmas, 2 a week. So I went crazy. I made 8 or 9 videos last week. So more than one a day. Pretty good speed, honestly. And I burnt out in the last like 4 days. So so I was kind of killing it. But I don't know what style I want to go with. How about we switch over to like going on Pinterest or something and figure out a style that I want to do. How do I do this? This one? Yeah, there we go. Pinterest. I may need to log in for this, in which case I'm not doing it. I think I do. Okay. Here, let me log in real quick. Log in. You could just see my face and the reflection of my glasses. I bet it's fine. What's the worst that'll happen? Log in, log in, log in. Ugh. But I've also been playing... Oh, two-step verification. I've also been playing Tape to Tape, which is a game I've streamed a few times. That game is so fun. I played the beta, I think, on last stream, and have since beaten it fully. Like, I've played every single person at pretty much every level, like skill level that the AI has available, and beaten them all. I don't think there's any more unlocks that I can obtain. So I might go back to the... Did I get the password right? I might go back to the original non-beta version. Because... Oh, that's how I log in? We'll see. There we go. Okay. I guess we're also going to look at my style of house and themes that I want. Okay, let's go back to this. So I'm a big fan. I think this is dark academia, but not really. Love this vibe. Like, this is so nice. I would love an office like this. I've also, as you can see, house vibes. And like, ooh, a tree kind of thing could be fun. This would suck to build, but it would be so epic. Oh, like something like this could be really fun. I will say this is going to be built in the sky. I'll give you at least that. So stuff like this isn't out of the question, but I couldn't even imagine how to build it, you know? And I don't know how well it would fit into the theme. Also, though, I am not doing this in this. I am trying to build simple builds to get a general architectural theme and get good at building that type of theme. I can't believe... Why are there so many, like, schematics? These are all AI generated, surely. Yeah, modified. I got a new PC and have been so locked into Disney Dreamlight Valley. Honestly, never seen that. What even is that about? Disney Dreamlight Valley? You're gonna need to enlighten me on what that game is, because I've never heard of it. Is it on Steam? Like, what's the genre? Oh, like a fantasy gothic could be fun. I don't know what this style is, but I'm kind of a fan of it. What are you? Like if I could get a big roof curve going up, I think that could be really fun. This is kind of more steampunky than maybe I was initially interested in. Hmm. Let's see. So if I am think Animal Crossing mixed with Stardew Valley, okay. Okay. Honestly, I couldn't get into Stardew Valley. I wanted to, but I just never could. Shovel, goated builder. I don't know if you watch his videos. They're so good. They take him like a year and a half to make, but they're all really good. He solely builds in creative, but I mean, makes stuff like this. Like this is incredible. But yeah, I need to make it so that the build can take in items on chain conveyors or somehow like a train or something, maybe an airship since it's going to be in the air. I want small builds. Small builds. Hmm. These are the opposite. Why did I click on a shovel thing if I want small builds? Go back. Let's get little house designs. So like this little curvy arch thing is pretty cool. These are all pretty tree housey. I will say though, this roof color is kind of like the one that I was talking about. It might mean we want to do a wood gradient as well. So like maybe oak to spruce type thing. There's no way this is true, but I'll certainly try it. Honestly though, the Akram crafting table looks bad. Akram though, I think if I strip this maybe. No, that's lighter than these two. You to you. Huh. Chiseled bookshelf, maybe though. You know? What are you? Brown mushroom blocks? No way am I building with that. Absolutely not. You're really recommending a crafting table in the middle? I don't know if I agree with that. What if I do different woods? Let's see. What if we do birch? Sure. Orange glazed terracotta in the middle is certainly a choice. It is certainly a choice. I don't know if I agree with it. Yeah, no, this isn't going to work in the middle. I guess this will. And then you, and then you. I mean, yeah, that will work. I think we want to get rid of the pillar here and maybe also this and just go 4 wide gradient. Honestly, the smaller the gradient, probably the better. But also, I don't think we need spruce. I think we can do it with oak and akram and then figure out something to go from there. Where is akram on the color wheel? It's a little bit darker than that. Mud. Could be fun. Or like coarse dirt. Rooted dirt. Let's see. So if we go... Oh, that's okay. You to you? Yeah, we'll get that. We'll also get that. Oh man, brown mushroom is like the transition block. It looks like. I disagree. I also disagree with that. These are all just bad. No! Give me a good transition block, bro! Okay, we might be worrying too hard about this type of thing. Ooh, jungle. Ooh, maybe. Ooh! Hey, jungle's working. Jungle kind of works. Okay, jungle works. How do we get from jungle to rooted dirt? Dirt. Raw copper. No, no, you're wrong. What are you talking about? No, sir. Please never do that again. Jungle to something else. What if we did this to jungle planks? Nah. Trash. Garbage idea. Who thought of that? Okay, maybe we leave it for now. Nah. Yeah, we'll leave it for now. Let's continue look at it at Pinterest stuff. Do you guys have any thoughts or preferences on build styles that you would want to see that would work for a sky type base that's like maybe even an octagon type shape? So like this type of shape, maybe we one of these. What's this? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Like one of these where you go all like this, all symmetrical like. In the middle. And then over here as well. Right there. And here. So if you have something genuinely symmetrical, castle maybe. I am doing a castle-like thing in the center, not specifically castle-like, but I don't have a theme for it. So there's a bunch of different castles of general, like, if we look up castle, there are a bunch of different ones. Like this is obviously super different compared to this one, which is different to this one, which is different to like all of these. So there's like more gothic, more cathedral-y ones, and then more fantasy-based builds. And like there's also more futuristic ones. So that's kind of where I'm stuck on where to go to. Because I am pretty terrible at building in this medieval-like style. This is kind of closer to Victorian, like US Victorian vibes. Ad blocker detected. How dare I? Let's turn that off. Sorry. Sorry. Okay. The fact that 2/3 of this is sponsors is why people have ad blockers, Pinterest. What are we doing? You can't be doing that. Can't believe it. I don't recommend using ad blockers. I think Google will ban me or something. Let's look up castle in the sky. Okay, so something maybe kind of like this, but not at all like this, where you have our big building in the center that all branches off to everything else. This may be even more like it. And I suppose this style is actually pretty cool. And this is like, I guess probably idealistic Roman, which would likely mean that any style should work as long as I have variation between everything. So things that I'm thinking about here, we have bigger builds and then islands with smaller builds, like little communities that are based off of stuff. So initially what I was thinking, I think was lame, where I have one building on that's like floating by itself, where this type of thing feels more epic. I say let's try to build some fantasy type, let's see, Minecraft fantasy gothic houses. Is this a thing? Is this a style? It kind of is. I don't know if this is a style I want to build in, though. Because I feel like it kind of has to be saved for big buildings. Like, this is super gothic, but it needs to be huge in order for it to actually translate to modern or to Minecraft. So what if we just did fantasy houses? And yeah, you're gonna get more of the swoopy stuff. Fantasy steampunk. What is this? This is certainly closer. I kind of liked what I had before, the vibe that was going on. Here, if we just go back. Yeah, you. I say let's just try to mimic some of these, just so I can get the style of, like, very whoopy arches and stuff. You know? Ooh. Snarple, also a goated builder. I was watching, it was his color thing tutorial that I thought was particularly cool. But yeah, his gradient from technically blue to wood gray, it's kind of cool. Kind of epic, actually. And it feels like that seems to be a theme, at least a little bit. What are these? This is AI. Right? Because, or it's like crazy shaders. Because those aren't blocks. Like, those are these blocks just red somehow. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So something interesting about this roof was something that I was thinking of. It goes to really saturated up at the top. Okay. I am thinking. Let me escape. Let me escape. All right. I am thinking maybe we even go more saturated on this blue. Let's go. Like, is this the most? Oop. What? Bro, Axiom is sick. Unless that's vanilla Minecraft, that's epic. Honestly, though, kind of a fan of, like, the super bright blues for highlight spots. To draw your attention, I think that works. Yeah, we have most of our build is in this kind of color zone, and then we have highlights from where our shadow wants to be based on this. Based on this build here, highlights to where shadows are going to be. Yeah. Yeah. That's what makes it, because, like, you're immediately drawn to right here on the build. Like, the rest of it, honestly, like, C tier. But you don't really notice it because the colors are so neat. You know? And having, like, dots of, like, broken things on the inside adds some bits of fun to it. I think that's cool. Okay. I think I've decided on a loose vibe. Let's grab you, and we can go back to here for game capture purposes so that it doesn't flicker, because for some reason full screen games will flicker my screen sometimes. Okay, duplicate you, and then let's go back to the whoop-de-woo land. Yeah, so this is super curvy, and I feel like mostly has to do with block types. Okay, I see what they're doing. So I think I need one more wall palette here, and I feel like having a lighter one will work well, where we have dark on the bottom, and then, like, our, it's not terracotta, but we might actually use terracotta now that I'm thinking about it, of, like, a light orangey. I'm not doing limestone again. I'm not doing it. Like, we could do something like birch into a terracotta thing. I'm basing it partially off of some of our color palettes that we're seeing here. But, like, if we do something that's not perfectly white, but, like, We could maybe do smooth sandstone. Is that crazy? Could work. I think it won't. Let's see. What if we throw in terracotta? That's real different. But I mean, our birch to limestone? Is that something that would look good? No way, right? Ooh, it kind of does, you know. It kind of does. Now there needs to be another middle color in here. That does feel like it works better. We could delete you. What if we do it to something like calcite? I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. What are some color gradients that we could do? I'm so sorry. This has turned into a me trying to find a cool color scheme. Let's do shapes. Let's do shapes. Shapes are what the people came here to see. I have cleared my whole deep slate inventory. Okay. So I am going to copy the one image that I was showing you before pretty much as best as I can. So if we do like something like this on the side, and we have like a little window sill there, and then this is going to go over and around. I want this actually over and around into our doorway system. That's going to be pretty large. So what I want to happen is, B-Dubs explained this a little bit ago, where he had a line that kind of formed into his base where, or one of his builds, not even his base, where this line would go up this way. And then up way up here, we would have a roof that then goes, and let's do this in this color, that then goes like here and up. So that even though they're separate, they kind of line up, you know, when you're looking at it. And I want to do something like that, but I want this to be more curved. So let's try to scooch this. Hello? What am I doing? You. I think maybe something like this. Yeah, and then we would want black stone stairs. Like something like that does kind of work. And then we can have the same thing going on over on this side. And I can use Axiom because I'm cool and copy this. First point. Second point. Scroll to clone. Flip. Axiom's epic. It's the best thing in the world. And confirm. Cancel. Okay. It's pretty circly. It's too circly. But it's not a horrible first start. You know? We have these continue up. And then the same thing here. That's just a circle. But I think you get the kind of theory that I'm trying for. This needs to go higher. And then we want, like, honestly, this all the way up. Fence gates? Something like this. This is going to be crazy if this actually looks okay. I don't know how I've done such a bad job in making a whoop-de-woo land. Made it too flat. Okay, we'll go back to square a while ago, because that was actually looking okay. So we have whoop-de-woos. This is too big, but I think a good, okay first attempt. From this, let's, I suppose, grab our oak planks. I want roof to go something like this, where we have oak slabs going up like this. And then beneath, oak stairs, I guess. Sure. Yeah, I suppose it would be something like that, but that won't look good. We need to do this into like that. So I want it to go like looping upward. So this has got to be flipped. I don't know if you could tell. Not good at this. Let's get oak trapdoor. Oh, stupid. How do I build? 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 Oh my god, it looks so bad. Why does it look so bad? Sure. That looks fine. And honestly, this is increasing too much. Am I crazy? What am I speeding up for? What are we trying to wait for? And then diagonally up, and then we'll do a full block here. No, we'll do a stair. Yeah. Yeah, I would want it to meet up like there. And I think there are some options with Axiom that we can do for this. I am not going to do them on purpose to try to do it myself, but I likely will get the final shape going with it because I'll show you exactly how. The path tool, really easy. You go to, I think it's this one, where you go from here to here. And I'm lying. Yeah, there we go. And it's pretty much done, you know? You go out like this, over a little bit more. Somehow this is, oh, off center, because of it is, to be fair. Make it flat. Yeah. I mean, you're there. We've done it. This needs to be higher up for our build. I think the build is too tall, but this would be what we want it to look like. We break all you, and then we go back to this. So we change this to wood, this wood, this can be a stair, I think it's fine. And then we can do stairs up. I think wood here is unnecessary though. And I think with this tool, you can also do some fun stuff with stairs, so it can build it with stairs for you. But like, oh, easy. Yeah, this is what I'm going to do when I am like perfecting a build. But I think for now, that's actually really good. I will also say the oak does not go well with the blackstone. But that's okay. We're just trying to get shapes going here. Okay, maybe we can't have stairs going all the way up like this because this looks terrible. Yeah, I think part of it is that it's too tall for what it is, but it needs to be that tall for our archway here. I think otherwise, it's actually pretty cool. In order to make a legitimate build like this, though, scale-wise, we need to make it even taller. Like we would need a ton more space and everything. But I think as a first kind of attempt, I think it's okay. If we replace it with a color that would better suit this style, what happens? Yeah, just immediately better. So let's grab some of these. Unfortunately, we're not playing with warped, or with shelf blocks, since we're going to be in a slightly older version of whatever the thing is. Well, not 21. So we're not going to be able to get those shelf blocks. But that just makes my job easier because I don't have to try to make shelf blocks look good. Because you know that would be a toughie. Okay. So like we have something like this. This would look absolutely epic, I think. We just need to make it look bigger. So let me get in. Right, I don't have infinite reach. No. We'll stick with that. How do we make this look like an arch? I do kind of need to do this anyway. So let's get this in. It's going to look like a circle. Is there a way that we can prevent that? I think having this be flat. So like that works well. If we do walls here, I think that'll do the job and provide a little bit of depth. This is obviously going to be textured, so please cut me some slack. We can do some dark thing in there. No, we'll just keep it like it is. Keep it like it is. Keep it looking like it is. And then yeah, we'll have something like that there. And then behind and around it we'll change stuff up. Cool. So we need that there. Can I have this? Kind of trash looking, actually. Yeah, I think I built these too close to each other, but that's fixable. Let me just fix it. I think ideally I would want a 3-block gap here. So let's just build that in. So we have a block gap for a little bit of shenanigans, and then actually one more. Over here, it'll go back up into our kind of thing. Nice. And then this can then go diagonally back down and connect up there. I think that's good. I want to do something like this. I've decided. It was feeling a little thin before. That looks fine. And then down here, we can do something like this. And then don't know if I like it. That's better. And then we can grab what's a partial block. These are actually going to work, I think. They're better at the top of the build. But like those as a kind of curvy thing, really, really nice. And then if I can grab kind of a half block, what would work well here? I feel like maybe just a dark oak trapdoor. Maybe even slabs. Black stone slabs. Yeah. Honestly, let's make it a 1 block center. I don't know why I didn't do that before. So that's our center. Then we have block, wall, build, 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 stairs. Yeah, that's much less circular looking, and I think better. Yeah, you can't have walls everywhere, but that's fine. I'm kind of stuck on the dream of trapdoors working well. No, I think the block stair technique strat is better. At least up here, or the slab one. I don't know. We'll see. I'm getting stuck in the weeds, so let's move on. We can now get these, and I'm just gonna plaster this around to get a feel for the colors. So let's go all the way around here. Forgot one thing I can totally do. Stack, boom, boom. Probably don't want to do that actually. Escape. There we go. Okay. And then go up. Confirm. How does that look? I think it works. Remove you. Cool. Like, it's obviously too big. But I think other than that, it works. Okay. You're in there. Oh, same with all of you. I've messed this up. Okay. And then what we can do, quick little clone. This, I have decided, has turned into me figuring out if I think this is going to work color-wise at all. So I am no longer building... Oh, perfect. Yeah, that'll work. We get, what, a little circular window in here. Wrong one. No, right one. Easy peasy. Get a little windowsill, maybe with some blackstone slabs. Crazy. Pretty mystical. Pretty magical. We get a bunch of other layers of that in, and I think it kind of works. Because I'm a hater, though, I'm still scared about it. This is a 2-block center. How have I done this? Was this on purpose? Shouldn't have been. Why did I do that? I've just made it so difficult to build stuff. Let's undo. And redo this whole thing. First point, second point, bring out, scooch over, flip. Okay. Honestly, that is better. Is this still there? It's not still there. It just prints it. Interesting. Okay, no worries. This is now all broken. Amazing. This should be a block into one of these, and that's now the center. I think that's fine. I think it's mostly fixed. Yeah. So then you are all removed. We still have room for circle 3-block? Not really. I mean, it's certainly a window. Like, it works. Get a little flower bed here that I have since demolished, really. Cool. Very mystically. Kind of Icelandic, maybe? Almost? I don't hate the vibe, to be fair. And then if we do like something like this. So in the picture that I'm looking at over here, that's not even a Minecraft build, they have like this weird doohickey out. It's like a straw hat on top of the roof. Ain't no way I'm doing that. So instead, what's a mystical building strat is to like do some whoopty out the front. You know what I'm saying? And I am just gonna not do that because I don't know how it's gonna work. Instead, though, I think I can just grab everything here. Yeah. So you actually just all the way over to you. Second point, where are you? There. And then pop it up to here. And then just go this way. Before I do that, though, I need to be smart. Get rid of everything that would be in the way of the wood doing its thing. I think this side is going to be mostly the culprit. It's actually otherwise good. Nope. Messed it up. This one to this one up to this one. Okay. Yeah. That's a mystical house. For sure. We can do some window, pretend window here. Just for now. Oh, I guess now smear takes priority over existing blocks. That's definitely new, which is fine. Like if we pretend this is a window. Yeah. Honestly, I think it kind of works. I don't think the scale is as bad as it seemed initially, which is good and was the whole point. But I'm surprised it actually worked the way I thought it would. And then from here, what I would want to do is I would want to build out a thing over this way. We have right now this line leading up to here that's kind of curving this way. So if we could get a building like on this spot, or like not a building, but a separate addition to our little thing, where is that right? Or it would go like that. So we would want another roof line going like this, where this would then pair up with you, and this would go up to a part of the house. Do we think that works? Kinda. It definitely needs to be more curved than what I'm doing right now. But I do think it does. Oh, give me a plank. Thank you. This is what I want. Yeah. And then something like this, maybe with a slab underneath, but I don't think so. Slab on top. I think that'll work. And then over here, we would want this to kind of go into maybe another type of roof. Is that crazy? Okay, not as horrible looking as that, but I think that would work. I am realizing now we do need another roof block in order for this to work, probably. Let's try to gradientify stuff. So let's see. I really don't appreciate that movement always resets to use vanilla movement controls, because I hold control so often, and that's my shift button normally. But in this area, it's the opposite of my shift button. Okay, gradient painter. Okay, let me get all of you guys in. And this is going to be, obviously, I mean, my first attempt at using this gradient in a real manner. We need one more. And then we want Bezier, sphere. I think that's fine. Add a preset, teal roof. And then where would I want the sun to shine? I probably want it over here, but let's pretend that I'm not doing that and we're doing it like up in the front. So how does this work? It's like we have something like this. What if we did it just a straight basic baby gradient? Or it gets darker when go up. That's something. What if we do opposite? I forget which way I just did. That is not the opposite. This would be opposite. Goes dark when get top. No, I think I like what we had over on our other screen, where we had like certain aspects of the build being very, very bright, but a lot of it is dark colors. It's like maybe not as dramatic as what I was showing here with this, but maybe something similar to that. Like, I think that would work well, especially on a much larger rooftop. And maybe from above. Let's see. So if we... Wow, does that look bad? How have I done this? Okay. Yeah. Like something like that, I think would look really good once we, I mean, obviously increase the size of our roof to as big as it would normally be. But I think that's good. I honestly, I cannot stream anymore because I have to go play hockey. This was going to be a short one anyway. I hope you enjoyed this attempt at building. I'm going to be doing these a lot whenever I have time. And I'm also going to be doing it offline whenever I have time, because I now have a bunch of time because I already made a bunch of videos. So thank goodness. I hope you enjoyed the stream. A little bit of it's a shorter one again, but it's consistent every Wednesday. Today's Tuesday. Every Tuesday and Wednesday, around this time, 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern-ish. If I have hockey, it's shorter, like today. Normally I don't, which is why I chose these days. So normally it'll go like 2 or 3 hours. I think this is a good start. I have a lot of a ways to go. I'm impressed that I did this in an hour, because I am not a quick builder. I mean, in my defense, I made something cool last night that I'll show you a sneak peek of. Where is it? It's over this way. I'll show you the shadow outline of it. This is going to be part of my base. That is all you get to see. So I hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel, where you will see the rest of it. That's going to be all. Thank you all for joining. I have a fidget toy of my camera lens thing, which is what you may see or see me fidgeting with or hear. I don't know how good it is, but it's so fun. Oh, I dropped it. Anyway, have a good one. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.